Hello students, today we are going to discuss about the minerals and trace minerals which are required in our diet, what are their physiological role, the requirements, sources and what happens when you take them in excess or a deficiency. We are also going to understand the general functions of minerals in our body and acquire knowledge on the major and trace minerals that are required in our diet. Minerals are required for normal growth and metabolism, and they are met through the food that we eat. They are present in all the body tissues and fluids. They are also present in bones and teeth like calcium and phosphorus. Iron is mostly present in the blood, and also as salts we have sodium, which are organic substances. Let us see the general functions of minerals. Before we go on to the general functions, what is a mineral? A mineral from a dietary sense is an inorganic compound that is needed in small amounts for the regulation of your body's processes and health. Minerals are inorganic, unlike vitamins, which are organic nutrients. This means that minerals do not contain carbon. Based on the requirement, we classify them as major or minor minerals. 90% of the minerals constitute calcium, phosphorus, potassium, sulfur, sodium, chloride and magnesium. They are called the major minerals, whereas the remaining 10% are the trace or minor minerals. Minerals are found not only in the bones and teeth, but they are also found in the soft tissues such as nerves and muscles, and in the blood and our body fluids. Coming to the general functions of minerals, they help in maintenance of acid-base balance, control of water balance, contraction of muscles, and also they help in the normal response of nerves to various physiological stimulation. They are also needed for clotting of blood. Minerals do not act singly in their function and regulation, but they work with the help of other minerals and organic compounds. One of the most important functions is the bone and teeth health. Our skeleton provides motility, protection and support for the body. It also stores minerals and other nutrients in our bones. Several minerals make up for the architecture of our bones. Calcium is the most abundant mineral in your body, which is found in your bones and blood. Along with calcium, we also have phosphorus and magnesium, which give strength and density. The mineral also builds and maintains strong and healthy teeth. The next important function is they help in energy production. We all require oxygen to produce energy that is necessary for every body function and processes. RBC carries oxygen to each of your infinite cells where it is used to generate energy. RBC contains a heme or iron component that binds to oxygen, which is transported to the various parts of cells in our body. Without iron molecules, oxygen could not be attached to blood cells and the body would not be able to produce energy which is necessary for life. Iron is therefore an essential mineral, failing which, if you do not get a correct amount in your diet, can lead to a condition called anemia. The next function is nerve and muscle function. Potassium is found in bananas, dates, tomatoes, green leafy vegetables, and other citrus fruits and legumes. This nutrient is important to keep muscles and nervous system functioning normally. Potassium also helps to maintain and correct water balance in the cells of your nerves and muscles. Without this essential mineral, your nerves will not be able to generate an impulse to signal your body to move, and the muscles in your heart, organs, and the body will not be able to contract and flex. The next function is immune health. Some minerals which are required in larger quantities, like calcium and zinc, which is needed in trace quantities, is essential and important to keep your immune system very strong, and also helps you fight against various body infections, helps to heal wounds and repair cells. There is another trace mineral called selenium, which is needed in small amounts for your immune health. A deficiency of selenium can be linked to an increased risk of heart disease and even some types of cancer. Now let us take up the major minerals which are required in our diet. The first one being calcium. Now we all know that calcium is mostly present in the bones and the teeth. Not only that, the nerve cells, body tissues, blood, and other body fluids also contain calcium. It is one of the most important minerals that is required in our human body, because it helps to maintain healthy bones and teeth. If proper levels of calcium is not taken in the diet, it can lead to a condition called osteoporosis. So, what are the major functions of calcium? It helps your body to be strong, especially your bones and teeth. It helps in clotting of blood, sending and receiving nerve signals. It also helps in relaxing muscles and also releasing hormones and other chemicals. One more function is it helps to maintain your normal heart beat. The experts of ICMR have given a recommended dietary allowance of calcium as 600 mg per day for adult man and women, whereas during physiological stress in pregnancy and lactation, there is an increase in the demand of calcium. It is around 1200 mg, which is double the amount. Children require 600 mg, whereas children in the age group of 10 to 17 years require 800 mg per day. Now, what are the sources of calcium? They are present in both plant and animal foods. The richest source of calcium is milk and milk products. Apart from this, we also get calcium from green leafy vegetables, especially like amaranth, fenugreek leaves and drumstick leaves are richest source of calcium. We also have some cereals and millets like ragi, which is particularly rich in calcium. A deficiency of calcium can lead to a condition called osteoporosis, which is associated with a loss in bone density and bone mass. This condition is primarily found in middle-aged and elderly women, and this term is a Greek word which means porous bone. As people get aged, resorption begins to predominate over the bone formation, eventually resulting in osteoporosis. So thereby in osteoporosis, the total amount of bone is reduced, but the remaining bone is of normal composition and quality. Osteoporosis causes the bones to become weak and brittle. So brittle that a fall or even a mild stress like bending or coughing can cause a fracture. Osteoporosis is related to fractures most commonly which occur at the hip, wrist or spine region. Osteoporosis, as I told you, can affect both men and women, but especially it is seen in older women past their menopause. But with the right medication, healthy diet and weight-bearing exercises, one can prevent bone loss or strengthen the already weak bones. The other symptoms of osteoporosis are back pain, loss of height over a period of time, a stoop posture, and bone fractures which occur more frequently and easily rather than expected. We spoke about the deficiency, but what happens when you take calcium in excess? It leads to a condition called hypercalcemia, which can occur in infants as a result of high intake of vitamin D. It is best corrected by reducing vitamin D content of the diet rather than reducing the dietary calcium. The symptoms of hypercalcemia are anorexia, nausea, vomiting, constipation, abdominal pain, etc. Renal stones and muscle weakness can also be seen. Hypercalcemia can be reduced by treatment with calcitonin. The next major mineral which we are going to discuss is phosphorus. It is a major element in the body, next in importance to calcium. Utilization of calcium is closely linked with that of phosphorus, since most of the calcium is present in bone and is deposited as calcium phosphate in the bones and the teeth. Phosphorus is also an important component of nucleic acids and phosphate esters, which play a very important role in cellular metabolism of the nutrients like fats, carbohydrates, etc. The main function of phosphorus is energy production. It plays a very important role in energy production as a component of ATP, which is readily used to fuel your body's many functions. Next is protein synthesis. Phosphorus is also a component of DNA and RNA, which carry genetic information used to make proteins. Synthesis begins in cell nucleus, where a portion of DNA serves as a template for RNA manufacture, and then this RNA carries specific coding instructions for building needed body proteins to the ribosomes, where proteins are assembled from amino acids. If good amount of phosphorus is not taken in the diet, it can eventually affect the overall health of the person. Phosphorus also acts as a buffer, where it neutralizes the acids to maintain normal pH in the blood. Many enzymes and hormones also contain phosphorus. Hemoglobin, which is an important oxygen carrying protein in the blood, also depends on phosphorus contained in its structure for their proper function. Adult men and women require almost 700 mg of phosphorus every day. We get phosphorus in our diet from cereals, pulses, nuts and oilseeds. However, much of the phosphorus is present in the component of phytin in the cereals, which is not made available to our body. It is usually considered that about a gram of phosphorus should be supplied in the diet. This amount of phosphorus is easily obtained even from a poor vegetarian diet, and phosphorus deficiency is rarely seen. Next, we will be discussing about the trace minerals that are needed in our body. In this module, we are going to understand about the requirement and functions of iron, iodine and fluorine. We all know iron is required for the formation of hemoglobin, which carries oxygen from the lungs to the body cells. Thereby, it transports and storage of oxygen is done by iron. It also aids in energy production and cell diffusion. One more important function of iron is it helps to build up the immunity and also maintains the central nervous system. The best sources of iron is from liver, which is the excellent and richest source of iron. Apart from this, we also get iron from eggs, especially the yolk of the egg, dried fruits, lean red meat, salmon, tuna, poultry and dark red meat. Iron is also obtained from green leafy vegetables, especially the dark green leafy vegetables like spinach, amaranth, drumstick leaves, so on and so forth. If we mix lean meat, fish or poultry with beans or dark leafy vegetables, then we can improve the absorption of iron almost up to 3 times. And it is always said that one should have a vitamin C rich food for increase the iron absorption more adequately. Cooking foods in iron vessels can also help to increase the amount of iron which is provided in the diet. The requirement of iron is around 17 mg for men, for 21 mg for women, and during pregnancy it is increased to 35 mg. If there is a deficiency of iron in the diet, it will lead to a condition called anemia. The human body stores most of the iron to replace anything that is lost. However, low iron levels for a long period of time can lead to iron deficiency anemia, which includes symptoms like shortness of breath, irritability, dizziness, or weight loss. Physical signs of iron deficiency are seen as pale coloration of tongue and spoon-shaped nails. Women who are menstruating, especially those who are having heavy periods, and also pregnant women who have had a baby, can be the more risk age group for low iron levels and can suffer with iron deficiency anemia. People who have a loss of excessive bleeding, especially in the intestine, like bleeding ulcers, or people who frequently donate blood, also can be the risk age group which may develop anemia. Children, especially young children, should be given iron fortified foods and also iron supplements in order to prevent this condition of iron deficiency anemia. What happens when you take iron in excess? It leads to a condition called hemochromatosis. Now, hemochromatosis is an autosomal recessive disease which is characterized by an increase in iron absorption relative to body iron stores. It is a genetic disorder and affects the body's ability to control how much of iron is absorbed. Treatment consists of taking a low iron diet, no iron supplements, and also phlebotomy, that is blood removal on a regular basis. It is, however, unlikely that a person would take too much of iron. However, children can develop this condition because of iron poisoning and by swallowing too much of iron supplements. Symptoms of iron poisoning are dizziness, nausea, vomiting, headache, weight loss, anorexia, shortness of breath, so on and so forth. Next, let us understand the importance of iodine, which is a trace mineral, and what is its importance. Although your body needs only small amount of iron, its role in your body is anything but small. Iodine is critical for the production of your thyroid hormone, which has many important roles. The thyroid hormone is essential in adults and during fetal life and childhood, when it supports the normal development of brain and other organs. Iodine may have other key roles in the body. It is a constituent of your thyroid gland, which controls the rate of energy which is used up in the body. It is also present in the body in minute amounts. That is why iodine is called a trace mineral. The major functions of iodine is it helps in controlling the rate of energy utilized in the body. It is also essential for synthesis of thyroid hormones like thyroxine, and it regulates the rate of oxidation within the cells. The sources of iodine. The amount which is present in water and the food that we eat tends to be parallel to the iodine content of soil. People, especially who live in coastal areas and eat sea fish, ingest good amount of iodine for their needs. In areas where there is deficiency of iodine in food and drinking water, iodization of salt is the only technique available to make the food which is rich in this mineral. The other sources of iodine are sea fish, oysters, seaweeds, vegetables that are grown on soils containing iodine are the richest dietary sources. The requirement of iodine is around 150 μg per day, whereas during pregnancy and lactation it is around 200 μg per day. If there is a deficiency of iodine in the diet, then it leads to the enlargement of thyroid gland, which takes place resulting in a disease called goiter. Subnormal basal metabolism, sometimes associated with overweight, lowered mental ability, nervousness and sluggish movements are some of the symptoms of iodine deficiency. The spectrum of iodine deficiency disorders are seen at different stages of life, especially in fetus. Miscarriages can occur, stillbirths, neonatal stage it can lead to goiter or hypothyroidism. In children mostly goiter is seen, which is clinically visible. Apart from that, hypothyroidism, retarded physical development and increased susceptibility to thyroid gland is seen. The last trace mineral today that we are going to discuss is about fluoride. Now, fluoride naturally occurs in the body as calcium fluoride. It is mostly found in bones and teeth. Small amounts of fluoride help to reduce tooth decay. Adding fluoride to tap water is called fluoridation, which helps to reduce cavities in children and also adults. The only source of fluorine is fluoridated water, which is found in most community water systems. Well water often does not contain enough amount of chloride. Foods prepared in fluoridated water contains fluoride. The natural sodium fluoride is seen in ocean, so most of the seafood also contains fluoride. Tea, gelatin also are good sources of fluoride. Infants can get fluoride through drinking infant formulas, whereas mother's milk has a very negligible amount of fluoride in it. If there is a deficiency of fluoride, it may lead to increased cavities and weak bones and teeth. But if too much of fluoride is taken in the diet, then it can lead to a condition called fluorosis, which is of course rarely seen, but if it occurs, it may be seen as yellow color streaks or white streaks which appear on the teeth and the enamel of the person. The requirement of fluoride is very minimum. For infants it is just 0.01 milligrams. For children it is around 0.7 to 2, whereas for adults it is around 3 mg per day. How can we prevent ourselves from fluorosis? First of all, do not have or do not use fluoride supplements. Avoid fluoride toothpaste, especially for the children in the age group of less than 2 years, and also use the fluoride paste if it is used. Just a pea-sized amount is more than enough. So that was about the trace minerals which are required in our diet. So today we understood the importance of major minerals and trace minerals, what is their physiological role, what are their functions, their requirements, the sources, and also we have understood what happens when we take excess amount of minerals in the diet and when there is a deficiency of these minerals.